Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with permanent and temporary magnets, page 68. And we've already discussed about the permanent magnets that they retain their magnetic properties even when it is not under the influence of magnetic field. So a permanent magnet is a one which retains its magnetic properties even when it is not under the influence of magnetic field. And a temporary magnet behaves as a magnet only while it is in the magnetic field, produced by a permanent magnet or an electric field. So temporary magnet is a magnet which behaves like a magnet only when it is under the influence or effect of the magnetic field which is produced by a permanent magnet or an electric field. And here we have some uses of permanent magnets. And these permanent magnets, they are used in the magnetic stickers and even in pin holders. This we had already discussed in the beginning of the lesson. And some other uses of permanent magnets are as follows. Number one, magnets are used as catches in the cupboards, doors, and windows. They are used in the cupboards so that you just leave the door of the cupboard, it automatically gets closed due to these catches which are made up of magnet. And even they are there as the clasps of the necklaces, bracelets, handbags, purses, etc. A magnetic strip around the door of a refrigerator helps to shut it firmly. Even there is a magnetic strip around the door of the fridge and it helps it to shut firmly. All these appliances are based on the attractive property of magnets. Next is the attractive property of magnets is also used to separate magnetic substances from waste. If there is a large amount of waste, the magnetic substances can be removed by the attractive property of magnets. You may have seen the rag pickers using magnets attached to the stick to pick up scraps of iron from the waste dumps. Next, motors, generators, loudspeakers, electric guitars, and many measuring instruments have powerful magnets. The power windows and the windshields, wipers of the cars also need magnets to work. So even the wipers of your car and all, they have the magnets so that they can work properly. The magnetic stripes on the credit card, ATM cards, loyalty cards of stores, and airline tickets store information, and surfaces coated with magnetic material store information in the computer's hard disk. And the last one is the directional property of magnets is used in compasses to find out the direction. This is a magnetic compass. Next is uses of electromagnets. One of the everyday uses of electromagnets is in doorbells. A doorbell has an iron strip attached to the electromagnet which gets activated when switch is pressed and attracts the strip. So there is a gong like this, and when electric current flows through this coil, this strip is attracted and the bell rings. And the strip then strikes the gong which produces the sound. Then cranes used to pick up heavy things made up of iron also have electromagnets. So when big cranes which are used to pick up heavy iron pieces also have the electromagnets, or they pick up the heavy load with the help of electromagnets. Electromagnets are used to separate magnetic ores from rocks and to separate scrap iron from waste in the scrapyard. They are also used in fans, mixers, washing machines, etc. And the magnetic levitation trains are driven by powerful electromagnets. So these levitation trains are also driven by powerful electromagnets. In one such type of train, magnets are placed between the tracks. So magnet is placed between the tracks here. And under the train have like poles facing each other, and the repulsion between these makes the train rise. So when like poles are facing towards each other, there is repulsion, and this makes the train rise and float over the track. And the train is moved forward by electromagnets on the track. And these are operated in such a way that the polarity in front of the train is opposite to that of the magnet under the train. So these are the uses of electromagnets. Then next we come over to the care of magnets. How we should take care of the magnets, otherwise they may get demagnetized. We have learned that magnets may be temporary or permanent. However, even permanent magnet may get demagnetized or lose their magnetic properties if they are heated. So a magnet gets demagnetized if it is heated or hammered, and a magnet can also be demagnetized by placing it in a magnetic field that changes its direction alternately. So if a magnetic field changes its direction alternately, then also magnet is demagnetized. Even when magnet is dropped from a height few times, it gets demagnetized. So next is keepers, how we can take care of the magnets. A bar magnet or a horseshoe magnet can get demagnetized if the poles are left open, and this can be prevented to a large extent by putting each north pole in contact with the south pole. So when north pole is kept in contact with the south pole of the same strength through a small piece of iron, the piece of iron used for this purpose is called keeper. So this is the keeper which is kept between the two poles of the magnet. And a single keeper is placed between the poles of horseshoe magnet. Two keepers are used to protect a pair of bar magnet, and the two bar magnets are placed with their north and south pole in opposite direction. And the last topic is Earth's magnetic field. You have learned that a freely suspended magnet always points along the geographical north-south direction, and this would make one imagine that there is a great or a giant magnet inside the earth with its north pole pointing in the direction of the geographical north pole. Though this is not true, it is a fact that the earth behaves like a giant magnet that is inclined to its axis of rotation. And there are various complex reasons for this behavior of the earth. Among the reasons is the fact that under its surface lies molten rock which is rich in iron. So under the earth crust lies the molten rock which is rich in iron. That is why it behaves like this. And the Earth's magnetic field stretches tens of thousands of kilometers into the space. So this magnetic field, it extends to thousands of kilometers into the space in the region called magnetosphere. And this field is a space that protects us from certain radiations from the sun and from the outer space. And when the radiations from the sun consisting of energetic particles interact with the Earth's magnetic field, so when these radiations of the sun interact with the energetic particles of the Earth's magnetic field, we see amazing auroras, the northern light in the Arctic region and the southern light in the Antarctic region. So this much for the lesson.